Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel, Secrets Behind the Stars. All the details are in my video. If you enjoy it, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe. You can go even further by tapping the join button below. Thank you for being here. Now let's dive in. In a country where the spotlight magnifies every glance and half-whisper, Akın let loose a sentence that split the calm like a thunderclap. I can't stand by and watch Ebru marry while I still draw breath. The line wasn't tossed out in a fit of temper, nor did it sound rehearsed. It landed with the weight of a confession, the kind that only surfaces when the heart has been quiet for too long and finally refuses to keep silent. It felt, to many, like the truth Akın had carried for years, a love that survived the bruises of time and the chill of distance. For the longest stretch, Akın and Abru Şahin were the pair that audiences held up as proof that chemistry could leap off a set and spill into real life. They were the dream the public wanted to keep alive, two performers who seemed to spark even in silence. Their arc together was never a straight line, bursts of passion, stretches of space, pauses that weighed more than words. And yet, with one startling declaration, a door that had seemed firmly shut cracked open, and a glow beneath it refused to fade. In recent months, they had drifted to separate corners of their world. Ebru, laser-focused on new roles and guarded about her private life, steered clear of prying microphones and eager speculation. Akın retreated into a hush people mistook for surrender. Everything shifted when whispers swelled into headlines. Ebru was engaged to a businessman outside the entertainment sphere. The rumor felt unreal until it didn't. A friend close to Akın confessed that he learned of it the way millions do, through a screen. He scrolled, saw the pictures, saw her fingers laced with someone else's, and something inside him seemed to give way. That night, he cancelled every commitment and shut the world out. He paced, he sat in the dark, he stared at his phone as if it might offer a different outcome. By morning, his resolve had formed. The silence, at last, was over. When he agreed to the interview, no one was prepared for the rawness of what he would say. "People can label me how they want," he murmured, voice steady but tender, "but I won't pretend indifference while the woman I love promises forever to someone else. She isn't a past chapter, she's the story I'm still living, and the dream I refuse to bury." The words detonated across news feeds and studio panels in minutes. Clips were replayed, captions were spun, and the internet's great chorus chose sides. Some heard the purest kind of love, pressed between restraint and hope, others saw a stubborn pride dressed up as poetry. But no one mistook the ache in him for performance. Reporters who sat a few feet away swore his voice trembled each time he said her name. There was no fire in his eyes, not that day. What flickered was a deep sadness, a soft refusal to let go of what had once felt inevitable. He had told a friend, once, "Ebru doesn't live outside me. She's in the room when I walk into it. And when someone tries to fit into that space, it's like pulling thread from my own skin." Memories hung over everything, not only for them but for millions who had traced their contours through scenes and interviews, reading between glances only the camera caught. Their beginning on a set had felt like lightning in slow motion, every look a spark, every silence an invitation. There were wild, joyful reconciliations and long stretches apart. Yet even when winter moved in between them, something kept humming underneath the frost. Akın described it in a way that put a lump in the throats of fans who had never stopped rooting for them. "I tell myself to move on, and then I catch her name, just a whisper, and suddenly I'm right back in it. I don't know a calendar day without her shadow, nor a night where I don't imagine the life that slipped through our fingers." The interviewer, cautious but direct, finally asked the question circling the room: was this about wounded pride? Was he fighting the future because of ego? Akın didn't hesitate. "It isn't vanity," he said softly. "It's love that survived the gossip, the miles, the pauses that lasted too long. How do I bless vows when I still feel our hearts beating in the same rhythm?" The country split instantly. Some crowned him the last great romantic, the man who refuses to let the world redefine his truth. Others shook their heads and called him prisoner to yesterday, refusing the dignity of closure. Opinions clashed, but no one could look away. Everyone felt the temperature rise. Then came the response from Ebru. She didn't name names, and she didn't need to. A single post, a quiet line set against a pale background. No one chooses for me. What we lived was true, but my future belongs to me. The internet erupted yet again, this time into interpretations that fought each other to a standstill. One camp took it as a strong, clear boundary, her establishing sovereignty over her own story. Another read sorrow between the letters, as if the firmness were only a cloak over a heart that hadn't forgotten either. After that, rumors circled like hawks. Several outlets swore that Akın had sought her out, perhaps more than once, even slipping onto the edge of her news set like a ghost asking for the time. A person close to him pushed back on the idea that he was chasing attention. He doesn't want to hijack her life, they said. He's trying to understand where the truth sits. He keeps insisting he won't be the storm that ruins her sky. But standing by while she marries someone else? He says he doesn't know how to breathe through that. Behind the measured actor, behind the posture and the calm expression, those who know him insist there's a river that runs hot and deep. This wasn't, they argued, the language of control. It was the voice of a man cornered by his own devotion, saying what he should have said sooner, fearing it may already be too late. To them, his refusal wasn't a barricade against her, but a plea: I still belong to you, even if the world cannot make sense of it. The internet did what it always does with a love story in flames, it fanned them higher. Old scenes resurfaced with new captions. Fan accounts strung together glances and gestures and smiles into timelines that felt like evidence. Love songs were grafted onto their images, and comment sections turned into confessionals. If he can't release her, one caption read, maybe she hasn't let go either. And so their story became, again, a mirror where many of us recognized our own ache, the unfinished sentence of it, the what if we never managed to bury, the dream of a clean ending that never arrives. When he sat for one last interview, the room braced for the final declaration. It didn't come as a roar, but as a sigh that floated above the cameras. I can't stop her if her heart truly wants that path, he said. But I can't wave goodbye like it means nothing. Papers can change names and rings can shine, but they don't wash away what was lived. What we were doesn't fade just because ink dries. People called those words the closing arguments of a love that disobeys time. They felt like the map of a feeling that doesn't surrender to geography or calendar pages, resistant to distance, stubborn in the face of silence. And yes, pride threads through every human love, but there was something in his voice that felt purer than that, like he was lowering a flag he never expected to carry, hoping the wind would bend it back toward her. Tell me, what do you make of this? Is Akın the devoted dreamer who refuses to rewrite his heart, or a man unable to step out of a story that ended long ago? Leave your thoughts in the comments, because here at Secrets Behind the Stars, your voice shapes the conversation. Don't forget to subscribe, tap the bell, and consider supporting us through the join button so we can keep bringing you the hidden layers, the deep dives, and the stories others keep under wraps. We don't just report, we relive, together, every heartbeat. And while the nation watches for the next move from two people who seem forever drawn back to the same doorway, a single question lingers over every screen. Can you love someone so completely that neither time nor distance nor reason can convince you to let go? Maybe Akın has already pointed us toward the answer. Because when love becomes the very air inside your lungs, even goodbye can't teach you how to stop breathing. Thank you for watching my video. See you in the next one. Take care, and goodbye.